Okay, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. I wonder what happened.
I'm not sure what happened. Let me see if I can pull this video back up. Let's see. Okay.
It is both stylish and functional. Hi, my name is Trisha. I'm in 10th grade and I'm the president of Safely.
You there?
Yeah, I could see it now.
Okay, now I don't have a volume. Let's see.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I just can't hear it. Right there on the little side, it has it muted. Next to like the pause button of the video.
Amendments are there in the United States? 13. No, there's no 20.
Notification feature.
There you go.
Bracelet and will not be noticeable.
So you can hear that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shared industry personal safety. As you can see in the images, there are self-defense keychain businesses.
There's strength in our company because we have a new product with good cause. And our bracelet is both stylish and functional. Some weaknesses that my brother and I.
Okay, yeah, we've already gone over some of this. Let me see if I could get.
First, we will sell our product officially on our website. We will advertise on social media and publish videos. We will have publicity segments on the Home Shopping Network and feature on sexual assault podcasts. And our budget for marketing, only one design and one charm. Guest speakers, and launch our product in Safely Seek stores. So our two competitors, GetFlare and Invisaware. GetFlare has a bulky, heavy cuff-like design. It's not very fashionable. Invisaware has only one design and one charm. However, Safely Seek has multiple charms, is trendy and fashionable. We offer it to men and women. We will have physical stores in the future, and we have customization. Users can choose between 1 and 3 charms, and we hope to introduce more charms to our bracelet in the future.
Adriana, I can't remember or not if your product, so is there competition for your product? Or is this something that is unique and you don't have competition? Just want to make sure you guys are doing a good job in assessing what the competition is.
So our competition right now would be portable chargers.
Yeah, but I mean, but like, are you looking at the companies that when I say competition, I mean companies that would also be selling products similar to yours?
Yeah, just for that one portable charger, I don't remember the company's name on my head, like on top of my head, because it's like a weird name. But it'll be that, and then like probably Apple would be like another one. Like any tech company would be probably go into this because of like with the chargers in general.
Gotcha.
Because it's related.
Gotcha.
And then something else we have to keep in mind is that cars are like evolving now. So most cards are gonna come with like a charging port in the car. So we also have to take that into consideration.
Gotcha.
So okay, so question. So um for our competitive analysis, do you want us to like state like specific company names?
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to show what the companies are when you do your competition analysis. We can show you in another sample plan in a second. But you definitely want to show, uh, if there's, you really got to identify the market when you got to be able to demonstrate that you've done your homework and you've did your market analysis. You know what other organizations that are selling products that are going to be that you're going to have to compete against, whether it be for price, whether you're going to compete on the quality of your product, the durability of your product. You can identify those areas that in terms of what makes you feel that your product is going to give you a competitive advantage on other companies, selling the same product. But
Okay.
At least serving the same market. And you see, they did that here. Right here, they've showed, they've compared. This is their company here, Safety Sleep, and they've compared it against, two other companies, and they're showing how they compete in terms of design, in terms of customer, and in terms of customization. And again, here they're doing a 3-year projection. And as you remember, we only require, you to do your base year calculations, and then you can, extrapolate on what you based on the percentage growth for year 2 and year 3. But if you want to show 5 years, you're more than welcome to.
This is a graph showing our assets and equity increasing. Our startup cost is $342,000. This is year 1. A majority of our expenses will be spent on marketing. Less money will be spent on advertising.
Also, this is another thing we talked about last week too, is, it's basically 2 things. You can either talk about, like they're showing here, to me, I always think you have to be careful when you say, how much, if you got an, excessive amount of startup costs. I think you just have to be real careful, because that's always going to take the judge's attention. In this case,
showing our assets and equity.
let me see.
Our startup cost is
So in this case, their startup cost is $342,000. So I mean, it's okay if that's what it is, really, but you have to be able to talk the judges through that. So you can either present your business plan one of 2 ways in terms of how you're going to get that startup cost. You can present it in a way that you're planning to get an investor that's going to invest in your company and give you that startup cost. And I think one of the drawbacks of that, you have to give up, a percentage of your company, and, if you get an investor. Or you can say in your business plan that you're going to get a loan from a bank for $342,000, and you're going to finance that loan over, 10 years or 20 years. And you just have to be able to demonstrate that you're going to make the revenue and the profits that will allow you to be able to pay that money back over the terms of that loan.
Okay.
$2,000. This is year 1. A majority of our expenses will be spent on marketing. Less money will be spent on advertising. But in our 3rd year, we will be spending less money on marketing, but we will be spending more on research and development. We are seeking $1.3 million for 12% of our company. So the total valuation of our company is $8.2 million. We're projecting that Safely Seek will double in valuation from inception in 5 years, so that 12% of our company will turn into roughly 2.
Yeah, so I still think, this is probably one of the reasons why they didn't do as well as they could have. Once again, they presented it almost similar to like a Shark Tank situation where they were, asking the judges if they wanted to invest in their company, and they're asking for $1.3 million. And I just think you just got to be so careful with asking for, saying you have a business that I mean, it like I said, if it's $1.3 million, I mean, and you talk them through it, and it makes sense, and you've developed a cash flow plan, and you can demonstrate that your revenue is going to be able to allow you to either in this case, if they get it, if you go to the bank, you got to be able to show that you got the cash flow plan and the revenue to be able to make those payments, to be able to pay that loan back. But still, if you're just asking, for somebody to invest $1.3 million in your company, I mean, you better have a very solid business plan, well thought out, very thorough analysis of your market to demonstrate that you're going to be able to be profitable. Because if you're going to ask somebody to invest that kind of money in your company, then you got to have a very compelling and convincing profitability plan. So I just caution you for, if you're going to ask for, investor to invest in your company, I caution you, not to, ask for, an excessive amount of money, because that's just the judges are going to come at you hard for that. And to me, I kind of think it's safer to say that, if you got, you show that you got the revenue, I think it's safer to say that, you're going to work with a local and get a small business loan, and you're going to finance that startup cost and that investment cost, and you're actually going to pay for that, over time, and then you're not giving up any of your company if you do it that way. So there's pros and cons, because sometimes, you can bring an investor in, and maybe that investor has an expertise that you don't have. And, you bring them in, and they may be just the piece you needed to get you into new markets. They have relationships that they can bring to the table. So you just you really got to weigh it. If you got an investor wanting to invest in your company, and they're going to help you, they're going to help you grow your company, then it makes sense to go with that. But let me just.
Million. Thank you for listening. Safely Sleep. Sleep, safe, and secure.
Okay. So let me see what I want to do now. Maybe we'll do one more quick presentation. And then we'll look at some sample plans.
Hello everyone, our product is MagmaMap by New.
Okay, here we go.
Hello everyone, our product is Mag.
You can hear that okay?
Magnum Mat by New Generation Yoga Mat.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Nora Dunphy. I am a senior at Mount Everest Academy. I'm a certified yoga instructor with 5+ years in the fitness industry, and I am our CEO.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex Branch. I'm a senior at Mission Bay High School. I enjoy lifeguarding and playing water polo in my free time. I'm experienced in CAD and fabrication, and I'm our COO.
Hi, I'm Alexis Vernier. I'm also a senior at Mission Bay High School. I'm the CFO and I'm also a Taekwondo instructor.
New Generation Yoga Mats hopes to solve all the common problems with existing yoga mats on the market, namely the fact that existing mats are hard to roll up and don't stay rolled up once you roll them up. So we introduce our new and innovative product, Magnum Mat.
The yoga industry is massively growing at 10% year over year. The yoga industry is estimated to be worth $88 billion. The yoga mat industry alone is estimated to be worth $11.67 billion, and they're estimated to be 36.7 million yoga practitioners in the United States alone.
Hey, Andrea, I just want to state too here, I think they did they're doing a good job too, as looking right into the camera, and they look very comfortable with the information. You could tell, that they've gone through this, multiple times, and that's the best way to get comfortable with presenting. You just have to go through it again. I mean, practice 100 times, but you just really have to go through it and really get comfortable with the information.
So here's a competitive analysis. So most other old mats are hard to roll up. They roll up unevenly, and they also unravel easily when you walk around, so you need a bunch of cord around it. They flap when unrolled, as you can see from the picture, and the price point is between $10 and $200 for the good ones, or probably most of them over $100. So our mats are seamlessly easy to roll up, consistent roll up every single time, stay rolled up and completely flat with a price point of $39.99.
Our solution. So Magnum Mat is equipped with ergonomic magnetic inserts that are fitted into the edges of the yoga mat. This helps to hold it down and help to roll up.
Here's our design. The black dots are where we would place the magnets in between the layers of the mats along the long edges. So you can see that this design helps the mat roll up. When you start rolling it, it keeps rolling on its own because the magnets attract to one another. The magnets weigh it down on the edges, so the edges aren't flopping up, but it's also not too heavy to be too much when you're carrying it around. The mat stays rolled once you roll it up because, once again, the magnets hold it together. And finally, the magnets are totally unnoticeable. They're hidden between the layers of the mat and stitched together on the sides, so it does not interrupt your yoga practice or carrying it, anything like that. Here's our SWOT analysis. The strengths of our mat are that these are real common issues that so many people have come to me about as a yoga teacher and that I have seen, and so our mat addresses these issues. The opportunity is that the yoga mat is constantly growing. There are going to be more and more opportunities, especially with more people taking up yoga during quarantine and during COVID. The weaknesses are that we planned our business to start on batch production, so making them ourselves, but that could be an issue as we start to expand. And finally, the threats are that there are more and more products entering the yoga industry, so we are competing with more mats entering the market.
So our business model is to partner with yoga studios. As a matter of fact, we've already partnered with Reach Yoga in San Diego. We will give mats to these partnering studios to rent for clients who don't have mats. This is conditioned on the fact that they then place our mats in their retail section to be sold after being used by the clients.
So here's our consumer model. We have a try before you buy model where students can try and rent the mats at any of the yoga studios that we partner with listed on their website. And you can also purchase them, which are available in retail spaces or at partnering studios on the website.
Our target demographic is most generally the yoga community, but we also hope to expand to the fitness community and the Pilates, other mat-based exercise overall. Gender is mostly female because the yoga industry in the US is mostly female. And roughly 20 to 30 is our age range because those are people who are busy, don't have time to roll and unroll mats, and are constantly on the go.
So here's our break-even analysis. We plan on breaking even after 22 mats sold, and this is because our retail price is $39.99, but it only costs us $26 to make, and this gives us a profit margin of 34%.
So here's our 3-year forecasted growth. After 3 years, we plan to be in 331 studios. And this is because after our first year, we're going to start reaching out to large chain studios such as Core Power to get into their studios, which will allow for exponential growth. We plan to have a cumulative sales of 18,271 units for a total revenue of $730,000.
And we base this data on real data from Reach Yoga, who we already partnered with, finding data of how many people rent the mats and how many we estimate will purchase the mat after renting.
Thank you for listening. Meditate on. Hello, everyone. Our product is.
Yeah, so one of the things that these guys, and here's another example of where you never know how you're going to connect with the judges on site. And keep in mind when you guys do your final presentation that those judges will have not seen your written submissions. So you have to make sure that your presentation covers all of the essential components of a business plan. Because if you don't talk about it, if you don't touch on the market analysis, if you don't touch on the SWOT analysis, you know, if you don't touch on the who, the what, the when, you know, the profitability, your finances, they're gonna just assume that you didn't do it because your writtens are really your ticket to make it to the final. So of course, your business plan is going to be 10 pages. Keep in mind that your PowerPoint presentation that you use to give your presentation does not have a page limit. So for your PowerPoint presentation, try to use as many graphs and, you know, images that will keep the judge's attention. But the main thing is you want to make sure that when you give your presentation, and as you recall from last year, that's why I'm spending a little bit more time this year on kind of going through oral presentations, and because the orals is typically, because a lot of times if you make it to the final, you know, you're already, you know, running pretty close to the top 5. So, but one of the things that I can say about this group, I do remember that at least 2 of the judges, and they didn't even know this going into this, at least 3 of the judges all did yoga. So they were able to connect with the judges. They found a way to connect with the judges. And that's why I say it's always important in the beginning to introduce yourself, say who you are, and just take just a second or two to say, talk a little bit about maybe what are some of your hobbies, because you never know. You might, if you're an avid golfer, or you like to cook, or anything. When you introduce yourself, you never know. You might say something that might strike a chord with one of the judges, and that's just not to say that they're supposed to give you any more score you higher just because they had a connection with you. But I see it every day. If you look at the Shark Tank, a lot of times I've seen many times the judges really didn't necessarily thought a great deal about the ideal of the product, but they just liked the person. You know what I mean? They just liked the person that was presented. They were able to make a connection with that judge, and the judges be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to invest in this company. So that's kind of the really, one of the things that I like to, bring home in this competition, is that you want to make sure that you just, you go hard on your writtens, you go hard on the presentation. And then I think that just the cherry on top is your presentation, because you'll have an opportunity really to connect with the judges, because typically how you do on that day and how you present on that day generally determines who wins the competition. So, but they did a good job, because 3 of those judges all did yoga, and they understood the whole drama with the mats and how you roll them. They don't stay down, they curl up on the ends. And so this was a brilliant idea. Not sure if these kids went on and took this to the marketplace, but they really had. And I didn't realize that yoga mats was a multi-billion-dollar industry. You know what I mean? So they just had a great idea. They made it clear in their presentation that the market is growing, and they did well. I think they either got second place, I believe, second or third place. Okay. Let me see, I'm gonna go through. Let's see here. What I want to do is go through a plan and then also go through their PowerPoint so you can see that they're different in the sense that the PowerPoint definitely gives more graphs, more images. Let's see here. So I think in this one, okay, I think I showed you can you see that executive summary?
No, I just see files, like a
Okay.
file folder.
Okay, let me. So yeah, I showed you the video of this was the safety, the bracelet that the team presented that I showed you a few minutes ago. So what I want to do is just kind of show you their executive summary and then show you their PowerPoint so you can kind of see that the PowerPoint is essentially it's inclusive, you know, it's got more than 10 pages in most cases. But they're able to, you know, in the PowerPoint, they're able to show more visual. And like I said, it's no page limit for the PowerPoint, but you just have to be able to get through it in 5 minutes. So here in their executive summary, they talked a little bit about their product, the bracelet, essential item to protect people in extremely dangerous situations such as kidnapping, stalking, and harassment. Talked about the market. Shops will be in areas such as small boutiques within a shopping center, be located near jewelry and accessory stores. They plan on having product implemented within some smaller boutiques and areas with high crime rates, which makes sense. They talked a little bit up front about what who their competition is. They said there's only 2 other safety bracelets that exist on the market, Flare and Invisiware. So this is a snapshot that you want to be able to give in your executive summary. You know, you want to tell them what your market, what the market is, you know, that if that market is projected, you know, to grow over the next 10 years. These are the types of things that you want to just give the judges little nuggets. You know, you want to give them in your executive summary, you want to give them enough to make them want to read your business plan. So here they talked about the market, they talked about the competition, they say who their competition is. They talked about it being a trendy design. And then here they summarize their financials, which is the biggest thing that, you know, they really want to know. Here I see that they're showing their first year, they're predicted to earn a net profit of minus 609,000. So they're showing that they're going to lose money their first year. And that's okay, because a lot of small businesses, a lot of startups, you know, they do lose money in their first year. But then they went on to say that they will experience a 329% growth, and which is, you know, that's a lot of growth and gross sales. So if you use numbers like that, just be prepared. The judge is going to ask you, I mean, how are you going to, you know, how are you going to lose money your first year and then you're going to have 300%. So I think that's a risk to present that kind of business model where you're saying that you're going to lose 600,000 your first year, but you're going to have 300% growth in gross sales from year 2 to year 3. I mean, it happens. It definitely happens with small businesses, but I think you just open it up a can of worms sometimes when you say you're going to have 300% growth. You just and if that is reality, you just have to be prepared to answer the question when they ask you. So here they talk a little bit about software engineers and graphic designers in terms of salaries, 50 to 60K. They're going to spend $150,000, which is 20% of its total expense, which I think is a good relationship to show. They want to know what's the ratio of your budget for marketing. They don't like to see a company that, that's spending an excessive amount of money in marketing. So what they say out here, Sleek will spend 20% of its total expense on marketing, which includes online social media and on international trade shows, and the rest will go towards expenses such as payroll, commission, legal, and accounting fees. Startup costs, $342,000, if you remember that in their presentation. And I told you, I still think, I mean, that's a reasonable number. But then they turn around and ask for $1.3 million for a 12% equity, in their company. So then they got to worry about being able to explain to the judges why they think their company is worth $8 million or however that is. $8.2 million. So you just open up a can of worms. I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's better to say, hey, this is the money we're going to need. And this is we're going to go get a small business loan. And this is our plan for paying that money back over time. And in that way, the judges, they can't question you on it because you're not borrowing the money from them. You're borrowing it from a bank. Yeah. So then, they talked about the management culture, the company, the type of company, their compensation, advisory boards. Man, this everybody's different. I mean, the main thing is that you make sure you have covered, and during this year, I'm not sure if we were real strict about the essential components of the business plan in terms of the things that we needed to see. But now we give you those 10 different things, which I'll show you again in a minute here, that you want to make sure that your business plan covers. But let's see here. They put they gave us way more data. We don't like to see a table full of numbers like this. Do the base calculation like we say for your base year, and then do a projection. And we don't need to see all the numbers. We'd rather see a graph.
On the business plan itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can show the base year if you want to put together a table, put that in there. But, it's just so much easier for the judges to be able to, if you put that in so like a pie chart, or you put it in a graph, or it's just so much easier for them to read it, and they'd be able to determine what kind of trends. And but like I said, this was from about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Let me see what they got. So they did put together a partnership agreement, which is always good. And we don't charge you. I mean, we don't count that against your page count if you have some sort of partnership agreement with the company that you're going to partner with. Just be able to present and let in your business plan state how by partnering with them is going to allow you to capture more of your marketplace, how it's going to make you be more competitive than the competitors that you've identified. So, it has to make sense. We don't want you to go out there and just do a partnership just to do a partnership. And then here's the resumes. Like I said, same thing. We don't expect to see a whole bunch of work experience. from you guys, but definitely, sell yourself in here. If you've got honors and awards, show those. If you've got extracurricular activity, put them on here. Once again, it's another opportunity for you to connect with the judges that are going to be reading your written submission. Because a lot of times these things are so close. What makes a difference in a lot of cases is the quality of personnel. It's the same thing with the business. What makes a business win a contract, a new contract over another contract? They may be equal on quality of services. They may be equal on their financials, but one team may have submitted a better quality of personnel. And the way you demonstrate the quality of your personnel is through your resumes. So here she talked about her GPA, her honors and awards, extracurricular activity. And she plays basketball and taekwondo, and then she showed where she did volunteer hours, and that's always a plus. And yeah, like she plays the piano. So anyway, so the resumes, don't take the resumes lightly. We really want to know more about you and what you do away from school, the type of person you are. Are you active in the community and those kinds of things? And this was her young brother that was in 9th grade, so he certainly didn't have a whole lot. But so anyway, so that was their. So let me see if I can find their actual PowerPoint so you can see how they. Let's see. Can you see that?
I could only see that you have a file.
You see
Like it's
something
on
that
the
says
wall.
safety? You don't see safety sleep?
No.
Okay. Okay. So you can see that, right?
Yeah.
So here, see how they did their PowerPoint. So it looks like it's 22 pages. But this is the opportunity, and your PowerPoint is really the opportunity to, really show some really sexy stuff, that's really gonna take their attention, and but more of a visual, but still covering all of the essentials to a business plan. So she gave a little bit of the statistics from the market research, a little color in there, showing who the competition is, showing who the team is, summary of, the first year revenue, second year. This slide is a little busy to me, but and just as long as if this is their written submission, it's okay to be busy. It's just that when you go to present it, make sure you're familiar with this information so that you're not reading from it. It's okay to read from it because a lot of times you get nervous and you get up there and you get stuck and you get a moment, and that happens all the time. But that's why it's always good to have enough information on your slide so that if you have a moment, having a little anxiety, you could just read from the slides if you need to. And it's sort of like, your backup. So a lot of good graphics here when she talks about her product. Interesting organization, what's a business model chart. But either way, it's way more information than you're able to put in a 10-page business plan. You know what I mean? So take advantage of the PowerPoint to be able to add more information. Here's a SWOT, the strengths, weaknesses. I can't remember, did you guys do a SWOT analysis last year?
We did.
Yeah. Now she got some of this in their, well, I do remember seeing that, you know, some of this in the business plan, but you're limited in space on the business plan. Yeah. So let's see. Man, everybody wants to call me when I get on in the workshop. Let's see. No, we're almost out of time. I just wanted to also go over this essentials of the business plan again. Let's see. Okay, so you can see that market research discussion.
Yes.
Okay, so these are just some of our teams in the past years. So once again, you know, these are the business plans essentials. These are the things that you want to make sure you cover. Your executive summary, your mission, what you do, your market analysis, your SWOT analysis, your competition analysis, your marketing strategy, and your financials, and then your resumes, which again is a way you demonstrate the quality of your personnel.
Quick question. The resumes don't count in the 10-page, right?
Right.
Okay.
Resumes won't count. If you got like a table of contents, that won't count. You know, if you got like some sort of partnership agreement, that won't count. It's just, you know, the core business plan.
Okay.
All right. Well, good deal. Just 5 o'clock out there. You still at the school, I see.
Yeah. Everyone's like. That's why it's noisy.
What are you guys doing at school at 5 o'clock? What are they doing?
They're working on another engineering project. So it's all our freshmen that were like preparing for competitions where they could start getting experience.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, good deal. I will schedule some more for next week, Tuesday, you know, Tuesday and Thursday. Provide you guys an opportunity, you know, to go over and to, you know, present your plans. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
All righty.
Okay.
Talk to you
Thank you.
later.
Ryan.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.